Hello and welcome to this first click-by-click series of tutorials on learning Excel 2010. In this series you'll learn a number of basic techniques to get you started in using Excel. If you want to practice the techniques shown in these videos, you can get the written instructions along with the exercise files and video tutorials from www.wizzybooks.com. In this lesson we'll have a look at Excel's spell checking tool. So we're going to need to open the exercise file from our data files folder. I'm going to do this by clicking on Start, going to My Computer. I've got a flash drive here, open that one up, and there's where I've stored my exercise files. So I'll open that folder, and the folder I'm looking for is Spell Check and Proofread. So I'll double click that one, and Excel will open up along with the spell check file. So this spreadsheet contains some data relating to the expenses of car hire. And I've got some spelling mistakes in my list of expense items, and I'm going to use Excel's spell check tool to try and correct them. Now the tool that we're after is in the Review ribbon. So if I click on the Review tab, there's the spell checking tool, and when I click on that, the spell checker will open. So let's do that. Okay. So let's move that down there so we can see what we're doing. So the first thing that's happened is that Excel has started to look through the list of items and it's stopped here. And it doesn't understand the word fuel with two L's. It's telling me it's not in the dictionary. Now this is what the spell checker does. It's got a dictionary built in and it will check the words that you enter against the entries in its dictionary. It's suggesting to me that the word should be fuel, and it's quite right. There should only be one L in fuel. It's automatically highlighted, so all I'm going to do here is click change, and you'll see that fuel has been updated. It moves on to the next one, and it comes down to the cell underneath, and it says we've misspelt the word maintenance. Well, I can see we have up here, and again it's checked the dictionary, and that version of the word is not in the dictionary, so it's given me the suggestion of maintenance spelt correctly. So again, I'm just going to simply say change. It'll move on and find the next spelling error, and this should read overheads, and again this incorrect version is not in the dictionary, and it gives me the correct version underneath. So once again I'm going to choose change. Excel will update that information, and it looks like I've missed a D out of additional here, and again Excel has looked in the dictionary and found the correct spelling for the word, so all I need to do now is click change. And when I do that, the spell check is complete, so I've corrected the spelling mistakes in that workbook. I'm going to say OK to that, and the spell checker will close. The spell checker looked for misspelt words and cross-referenced them with its own dictionary, and where there wasn't an entry in the dictionary it flagged that up as a spelling error. But if I come across here, there's a couple of other discrepancies in here that the spell checker didn't pick up on. This one here, for instance, this is for the insurance expense, and it says £300 per car paid ounce in March, so it didn't pick up on the word ounce. And that's because ounce is in Excel's dictionary, so it assumed that we'd spelt the word correctly. And indeed we have, but it's the wrong word. So even though we've used the spell checker, we still need to proofread our work to make sure that everything's correct. Let's go and put that right. I'm going to come up into the formula bar, and I'm going to take that U out. So I'll put my I-beam just after the U, and use the backspace key on the keyboard. So that's corrected that. Per car paid once in March. I'll press enter, and now that part's correct. If I drop down to the cell underneath that, this is wages and salaries, and it says £5,000 per moth. Again, moth is in the dictionary, so the spell checker didn't pick this up as a spelling mistake. This needs to read per month. So again, I'm going to come up into the formula bar, position my cursor where I need to be, and type in the N for month, and again I'll press enter. So there it is, that's been corrected now. So using the spell checker will help you with 80 or 90% of your spelling errors, but you always have to cast your eye over and make sure that everything else is correct. Keen-eyed ones amongst you will have noticed that our total down here, 4,100, obviously has something wrong with it, because wages on its own is £5,000. So this is not a true total of what we're adding up above it. We'll be coming back to this when we've had a look at formulas and see what the problem is here. So that's how we use the spell checker. Now what we're going to do is to close this worksheet. So if I hit close, Excel will ask me, do I want to save this? At this point I'm going to say don't save. That way I can come back and repeat this exercise at a later date. So I'll choose don't save, Excel will close and take us back to our exercise file folder.